they
Girl, you better do your thing. Wait, what now? Somebody just not talking in my ears, girl. If you don't stop that, so you hear it?
I'm just saying. I do be cussing though. I do be cussing, but I don't cuss as much.
Right.
I was listening to my recording because I be doing my podcast with and I'm listening to like the more unhealed version of me. And I'm like, damn, I kept cussing. I mean, I was cussing. I'm like, all right. I mean, I lightened up a lot, but the cussing,
right.
That.
You
so
find
no, but
now in a social setting, like if you and I hang out together, we're just vibing, my cousins come out. It's because I be cussing a lot. Like my mom heard me curse for the first time a few months ago. I was talking to my boyfriend. She happened to pass the room, and she heard me let down some facts and shit. And she's like, "Wait, what now?" I'm like, "Ma, you didn't hear that."
Ma, I love how you like, ma,
you didn't hear that. Just ignore everything. You been. So she's talking about So that's how you talk to him? I'm like, ma, no, I do not talk to him. This is my way of expressing. He's like, yes, ma. She's verbally abused me. I'm like, ma, you can believe you though.
So, like, we gotta talk about that too. We gotta talk about healing in relationships. We gotta talk about that. Because I'm not official, but however, that's big. That's definitely my big. Like that's definitely my big. And it's very interesting. That's interesting. Right. He seems so supportive because he know how you are.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. Like when you know how you are, everything around you can adapt to how you are. And it don't gotta be in a toxic way, but more in a more respectful way. Like, no, I know you, I get you, I feel you, I hear you. You know what I mean? It's like, because the cussing and stuff, I had to break it down to my son. Honestly, I'm like, listen, sometimes, because I don't cuss at people, I just cuss. Yeah. They just cussing, and I'm like, I know why I was cussing. I was around nothing but cussing. I'm surprised I don't cuss more than I actually do cuss, because that's how much cussing I'm around. Right. But I was even explaining to him like why people curse. I'm like, a lot of people that do curse are people that don't know how to express themselves. Right. So sometimes a cuss word be the perfect
expression.
Right. Because like I don't know a word big enough to express how I feel right now. So fuck this shit. Like, and it's just like, true. Okay. It's just what it is. Like, because if I say I'm letting go, it don't sound no, fuck that shit. It's like, all right.
I got you. It's a better form for real. It's like people get what you're saying. People really truly get what you're saying. Like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm done. They know. Oh, snap. She done. They mean
that's a drop mic right there. Then you like, yo, I don't know.
Something happening right now. Right. Yeah. We should later down we should do cussing, a form of expression. And see
seriously.
Yeah.
I think people will relate to it. Me too. I had to get it out of my head in terms of my business too. Like I'm like, my audience cuss. My audience don't express themselves. The people I'm trying to help don't know how to express themselves. So if I cuss, they know exactly. Like the thing I listened to, a lot of cussing, it made sense. It was just a lot of cussing in it, but you gotta follow the cussing to understand the mood. That's all. It's the energy.
I got you. It's true. Nah, I cuss it. I don't know. My body automatically have a censorship. Like when I'm around my mom, it is like completely censored. So around certain people, it's censored. Sometimes when I'm recording here, I don't know, it's just automatic censored, but sometimes when I'm into something, it will come out. And like it knows what to do type of thing. So I don't really think about my curse words. It just comes out.
Because you cannot curse if you want to, but they come out when they supposed to, I guess.
Right, yeah, for me,
I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you know how people like think about their cussing? I don't. It just comes out like, you know, fuck that shit, ain't nobody got, like it just comes into that
place. It do come out.
Yeah.
Especially the older we get, like you, it's like, man, I'm grown too though. So.
It's true. We can do what we want.
Right. Like, I could cuss now. So right. Y'all gotta give us some time. Shit, we just got to.
It's true.
Give me some more. Give me 10 more years, and I probably won't be cussing on you. Maybe. Maybe.
Like, maybe. Nah, girl. I'm gonna be my old age lesson on these facts and all the Caribbean different words, because y'all have certain words and we have dialect versions. So we have
yeah, we gonna do a cussing one on it then.
Yeah. We have we have dialect rasshole, cunt as in vagina, or you cunt. If somebody call you a cunt, oh god, girl, that's a whole insult. Why you gotta behave like is like, I don't know, what's your worst curse? Where's somebody a bitch? We all have bitch, innit?
Probably. I mean, I don't know, because we be always trying to like switch shit over here. So first it'd be nigga, and then it'd be only the black people say nigga.
Right.
Then it'd be bitch, but then we like, nah, cause I'm a bad bitch. So like we always trying to liberate something foul, fucked up. So it's kind of, I think bitch probably would be like the biggest, like, oh shit, because like I think it's the men, like men don't like being told them kind of words, like I don't know. A dickhead too. Like people don't like being referred. It's body parts. People don't like being referred to body parts.
That they think is taboo. You see, that's that conversation where we have to talk about sex, everything into do with sex and children's sex. So that's gonna come into that. But we got a bunch crosshair. Crosshair got curse word for these.
Damn.
Yes, for these. We don't have the fucks and the motherfuckers like you guys do, or bitch or whore or nigga. No, we got broad shit. We got a lot of extra shit upon what you guys
know
have.
what I'm talking about. Oh wow. So my cuss words ain't that bad then.
Oh hell no. What listen, boy, come
keep cussing.
You your asshole. I'm like that ain't going down. You know what I mean? It's just, and then in Guyana now they got instead of cunt, they got cunt. So is girl, it's be a lot. Like for, you know how people call somebody a slut? We call them a dangle. It's just, girl, it's weird. Caribbean have their own, a dangle. I don't even know what it means. Somebody call you a dangle is equivalent to a whore. And I found, so it's different. We have our own culture. I guess creating certain terminologies take us away from America. And people say we are not aware that's what they're trying to do. So, it's going to be a deep combo. How we get here though?
We were just catching up. That's all.
I got you.
Just catching up, but we was a warm up.
It's true.
What's our topics today?
So, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good. Guys, most likely you saw me put in, we just having background conversation like usual. And I forget to introduce. So, welcome to Culture Healing. We are doing another review. Now, today, on this day that I record this podcast, I haven't released the reviews we've done yet. I've released other stuff, but this one, so I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, you guys liked it and thing. No, because I really see it, so I know. So I'm not going to lie. So I hope so far, until you get to this point, that you like the other reviews that we've done today. We have something awesome. But before we get, let me introduce my baby.
Hey y'all, Toni Real here. I'm happy to be here.
It's true.
As always.
Yes, my girl is sleepy. Guys, one of these episodes you will see that I'm like, guys, I'm sleepy. Yeah, she's having that moment now.
It was the last one. I think it was the last one.
Is the last one?
It was switched. Yeah, I think it's switched.
Yeah, so she is all sleepy as well. Sorry, peoples, I have dust. We still have the ash a little bit here in Barbados, so we are still kind of like cleaning all the everyday ash is coming by. I live on the main road. Ash is consistently coming into our home, so I have to be careful with my little laptop that it does not get inside of the board. So anyways, beside the point, we are doing a review today and we are going to get right to it. All right, so yes. All right, guys, I cut the recording. Sorry about that, wrong button. All right, let's get to it. So yes, peoples, we're reviewing her today because I want to hear what this wonderful woman has to say, because I haven't watched a lot of her stuff and I wanted to see what it is she was actually visiting, because in one of my videos you would see me putting out how feminism started and where it came from, and how basically what the white women were fighting for wasn't really the cause of what Black females were fighting for. So I wanted to see how the white women fight trickle into the Black women's society and kind of turn it for them in a way. So let's see what she has to say.
Black woman's disrespect and rebellion against the leadership and the authority of the Black man is the direct cause of the breakdown in our Black family structure. And of course, there are many Black people who consider those fighting words, because as Black women, we have never been subject to the kind of examination that our men have been subject to since we have been here. We have been somewhat protected and shielded from any kind of critiquing about our personal behavior, whereas our men have always been up for examination. The book is not an attack on Black women. I have never said that all Black women do everything that I list in my book. None of us have lived long enough to do everything that I list in the book, but most of us do some of the things that I've listed in my book. And I do say that it is not because of generalizations that we are all victimized by some of the negative patterns of behavior in the book, but the book just represents our collective contribution. This is some of everything that we have done or that we do daily that contributes to the breakup of our relationship, the destruction of our man, and the failure of our children to be able to function. They did not tell us that all of that, being my own person and I'm independent, would lead to separation, loneliness, celibacy, and lesbianism. They didn't tell us that if you give up the man, you're going to take one of these things and it's worse and it will destroy your nation. They didn't give us that information. They made us think that it was some kind of glorified position to brag about the fact that I got my own job, my own credit card, my own car, so I don't need no man. I don't even know how we got that mixed up. Ain't none of that got nothing to do with being with no man. We have some serious relationship problems that nobody has been able to address us on because everybody wants to pretend that this is not going on. Over 60% of our women are single, widowed, separated, or divorced. They don't have a man. I just came out of Florida and they got a housing complex that the Urban League built, which is a Black organization that is for women and children only. They say they don't allow any men.
The segregation.
I didn't have time to deal with it, but I talked about them real bad. That's the silliest program I've ever heard of. You know the women that had men if they got a bunch of children. They need fathers. They need protection.
But again, that was not a part of the white person's design and narrative. They didn't want the man to be around, so they're going to do the segregation, which everyone knows that part of it. So it's not basically, of course, that design is something that a lot of people are not aware of, which then it becomes a norm for people who, when they have kids, they're not there, whatever the case, because that's something that they're accustomed seeing, that I'm not there with my kids. And then after a while, the kids see that, and then picture a bunch of homes with that same design. The father is not there because the government's saying not, right? And then years upon years of doing that, it becomes the father not being there because he doesn't want. But initially, in the beginning, it was because they didn't want him to be there. So then you have the dynamic of dad's not being around, but it was a created form, and then it become a negative form. And remember that dad or deadbeat's dad, but didn't remember the reason why it was built up to be that dads are deadbeat dad. So the white people who were giving housing designed it that way. They knew what they were doing, and it worked. It freaking worked.
I think only thing that's popping in my head is refinement. Okay, right. Like, that's why I think it's such a funnel of just drama, just like the Black culture, and trying to make sense of where we are today based on everything. I think you did a very great job. You always do a great job at explaining it, because it's nothing to really add to it. Only thing I can think of is refinement. Like, they take away the things that we don't like in the moment, in that generation, in that moment, whether it's a label, whether it's like a perspective. Like, I feel like they take away the things that make us upset to like dress it up with something that's still a part of the process, like a part of the system. Like, cause it's interesting to watch her talk, because I can't really relate to what she's saying, because I wasn't in the time frame that she's talking about. But I could think about my aunts and my mom and my, my great aunts and my grandma, and I think about the mindset that was more forced on their generations. So it's like, that's why I'm like, I just think of refinement, because I'm like, everything she's complaining about then is almost, I don't know. I want to keep listening before I say something.
You got it. All right, let's go.
We hear about the the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. You know, we talk about the great strength that we have as Black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single Black men. Those apartments belong to Black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, Black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us Black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear. Drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone and without support from us, whether they are good or bad. See, we have a lot of power. We are very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. Yes. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down instead of building it up. Having an education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling Black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child. That's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the Black female emotionalism. They're doubtful. They're indecisive. They can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man, but we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grew up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us anybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white woman's liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the Black man for over 500 years, so what do we have to get liberated from them from? That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business.
Unless
we don't have any business being in there.
Let's visit that as well. For Black women who think that the Black man always trying to rule you, honestly, they're not. They never have. They've always seen us as equal. No, I'm not talking present day. I'm talking before that. So when they had the feminist movement, the white people or the white women, it was because the same way the Bible is in telling you how a woman is supposed to be and how television relationship is supposed to be, those are the white form of relationship, and those are leadership in a home. It is not partnership in a home. What Black relationship was before slavery was partnership. There was no leadership and who is the leader of the head. Couples took what I would consider what you can do. If I'm stronger at this, I'm gonna do this. If she is stronger than this, she's gonna do this. That is how they had their relationship. It was a partnership. It was a togetherness. There was no head of anything in any form. That has always been the white man version of a relationship because he always wanted to have control. He knew, and this is what a lot of people are not actually admitting, he knew the influence and the control a female have. It is just that the white women uses theirs in a selfish way. They uses theirs for their own gain, for how they can manipulate certain things for themselves. We, on the other hand, when we're in a relationship with a partner, we are not trying to manipulate them to do things for us and get what we wanted and run around. We love to lead together. So he knew the type of person or partner he had, and they wanted it to be just what they created, that dynamic. So what she is saying is extremely correct. When you really look at certain relationships, exclude the white man. I've had some relationship, and when I really sat down and think about it, these guys weren't trying to control me, right? I always thought it was so because of the different teaching I've had from my aunts and my family and things that I saw. I thought that they wanted to do these things. And because I always dated older guys, I was able to see that. Now, when I dated a young guy, he wanted control because he was fresh out of his parents' control. So when he come fresh into the world, he wanted to feel what it was like to be a man, to be this, to have somebody do what I say. But when you got to a certain age, in a certain, let's say you get past in your 30s, you already know what that is. You don't have to control a person. Those are the men that I actually dated, where they didn't really want to control me. I thought it was so, and it created a friction. And this is where all the big fighting came from. So yes, the movement was nothing to do with us. You have anything?
Other than the system divided us. Like it be that for me. It'd be like you said, it'd be the root of it all. Like I don't know, the more I be reading and stuff and the more I look at stuff, and it's just become at this point so repetitive that it's just like, so they divided us. Like it'd be just that. It's like, so you know what I mean? Like they divided us and it worked.
Yeah.
But I think the beautiful part about what you said is the fact that at one point in time, even if we can't necessarily see it, we were balanced, united, equal. Had partnerships and stuff, equal, yes. Like, cause it's weird to think it's just weird energy. I'm not about to sit here and drag it out. It's just weird when you really give these things like thought, and it's like really, y'all. But I don't see nothing wrong with what you're saying. One thing I would add is that I think control is a trauma response too. Yeah. Like I would love to be, I would so love to say it's an age thing, but it's just not. Like I know people that are like my elders, I grew up with these people, they're immature as hell. So it's like they still trying to control and manipulate people to this day. So it's like I think it's a lack of understanding your own pain, your own problems, because I feel like when you, like for me, even just dealing with myself and my healing journey, I had to let go of trying to control things and surrender to God, like surrender to the spirit, surrender to my intuition. So it's like, why am I trying to control stuff? So I think that I realized through that experience that I was only trying to control things because things had never been in my control.
Right.
I think it go back to the oppression being the root of it, of a lot of it, because even with the black man and the black woman, I think the black men think that we be trying to control them too.
Yeah.
And it ain't that, you know what I mean? I think, and that's crazy because I was supposed to finish watching the video about nagging and I didn't get a chance to. But I'm thinking that energy is like, it's still the same thing. Like you think we trying to control you, and we think you trying to control us. In all actuality, we kind of are, because we're so used to being out of control just genetically for so many years. Like, and then in this physical life as well, like we've lost control of some form of our life. So of course, if I love you and I'm having a hard time expressing it right now, and you trying to leave me, you drawing. You drawing. Like that's the mindset of it. Because again, you're talking about people who lack the inability to express themselves. So again, I feel like it be deep. That's why I'm like, I be trying not to kind of say stuff because I love being logical. Yeah. But then I be like, but are we taking? I just had this conversation the other day too with a king. I'm like, are we taking into account in the same exact conversation the pain? Yeah. And the trauma endured through each generation. Yeah. It's like, that's where I get kind of into, I think that stuff fall into victim blaming and victim shaming to me, because it's like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like I understand. But in the same sense, it's like, are we being fair though? Like, can we do this different is what I'm trying to say. Like, can it be done differently? Especially us in this generation. She didn't do what she had to do in that time frame. I don't know. I can't speak for that generation. But even trying to speak for this generation is still difficult for the same exact reasons. Like, I feel like it's a real thin line between helping and judging. And it be that for me. Cause it's like, I wrote down while she was talking, cause you was on point. While she was talking, I felt like it was the energy coming from more so like blaming a woman almost. And it's like, but then in the process of explaining, backing up what you're saying, you're also stating facts. And those facts are that those same women that you're blaming and shaming for doing whatever it is that came after, whatever, also didn't have a father in the home. Yeah. So I think when you came through with your explanation, you brought it back together. It's like, well, she didn't have either.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, okay, then who
we
how is
judging?
it any of our fault? That's what I'm trying to, like, why are we still blaming ourselves?
Yeah.
Yelling at other Black folks like us, like we don't understand. Like it's just that for me, to be honest. Like it's just that where I am in my journey right now. I'm not perfect. I ain't been no different. I've been the same one, like, yeah, that's crazy, this and that and that. But I also put in work on myself every single day. And I'm like, damn, like, I'm judging that part of myself. It ain't got nothing to do with that person. I'm judging that part of myself. Like makeup, for example. Like, I don't, as much as I hate the fact that makeup guys get caked on and I personally just hate anybody that's able to use or paint against us. That's what I don't like. So when I think of healing, I think about healing the parts of yourself that they're not seen. But I think it's funny that it's like harder to heal the parts of you that's not seen because people are like infatuated with the parts that are seen. So it's still, again, it's this weird balance. It's called feminism. So I was trying to see where, I know as time goes on and changes, we have different levels of
feminism.
You know what I mean? Like, I think feminism to us now, and I think masculine and feminine terms are just now being defined. That's what I'm gonna say. Because I'm like, like, what is from that level that she's coming from? Like, I'm like, where, like, the feminist, where is that coming from? Is like, I know it's the feminism, like white women tried to trick us into these little stuff, but like, where is that feminism ruining the, you know what I mean? Like, no, I think that's a deflection. I feel like it's a deflection, like away from the root of the issue. Not saying it don't gotta be talked about, but I just feel like we could do better as a community. Like, we could do better at how we talk to each other, because you can't say you in my best interest, but you dogging me down. I don't got no eyebrows underneath these eyebrows. So why it's not fair that I gotta walk around looking like maybe I have cancer or something like that. I don't have no edges because I didn't take care of myself. And now I already feel bad, but now I gotta really feel bad because you feel like I should wear my natural self while I'm working on myself. So it's like levels, it's just levels to it all. Honestly.
I got you. It is.
And I'm like, my dad wasn't around. My mom's, every single mom that I know, dad wasn't around. So it's like, is it really fair to put all that power from him, whether you look at it like that or not? Yeah. And you just putting it on her instead of to me, making them equal. Yeah. My dad wasn't around in the beginning of my life. My dad was on drugs. My dad didn't get clean until like a couple years ago. My mom was always around physically, but not there emotionally. Mentally. Yeah. So I say all that to say, to this day, I look at both my mom and my dad as the same. I don't look at my mom being the problem and my dad not. Yes. No, both people had their own way.
Had contribution. Yeah, they had contribution to it.
It's just that. Yeah. And then when you bring both together, now you got a ignorant ball now. Ooh. Like we both being held accountable, but now we both can address the bigger elephant in the room, and that's white supremacy and its oppression over our people that created this whole system to begin with. Yeah. I'm no longer, because like I said, I'm not saying I haven't done it in the past, but I'm no longer going to be mad at my people for having and experiencing the effects of slavery, the effects of oppression. These are the effects. These are the impacts. Now that we know these things,
what is the solution?
That's just that. It's just that. And I think you can get closer to the solution when you stop pointing the finger. Boom. Everything that we do, I feel like on this podcast, we're constantly showing you the balance of both. Yeah. I can't, because again, like you said, feminism was the issue there, and then look what happened. We got no feminism now. Yeah. Whatever happened in that era with the women of that era had all them saying, fuck that. I'm gonna do I'm not gonna be I'm gonna have more masculine. So then we don't have no feminine.
And what they forget about the movement with Black women and the feminism, it wasn't anything to do with our relationship. Even though we had just come out of slavery, we still had some sort of balance. It was nothing to do with our relationship. It had to do with what the system, we were fighting the system. Then they had their feminism and it trickled down into ours. And then we forgot that we were fighting to be equal in the system. Then the system took over. Hey, you. Yes, you. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for coming to my page. So I would like for you to subscribe, and I also want you to watch the last video, and I hope that you enjoy everything on my channel. Thank you.